Chapter 1 of The Sealed Message. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recorded by Celine Major. The Sealed Message by Fergus Hume. 1. A Queer Fish. It was a sultry July afternoon, and in the azure arch of the firmament flamed an unclouded sun. The corn was ripening to a rich yellow in some meadows, and the newly mown hay in others was being piled on lumbering wains by perspiring laborers. The red earth of the sunken lanes was caked, and their blossoming hedges were burnt up by the merciless heat. Under spreading foliage, or knee-deep in rapidly drying pools, stood weary cattle, switching lazy tails to brush away the teasing flies. Honey-bees, ostentatiously industrious, buzzed noisily from flower to flower, and the sleepy birds twittered faintly midst the grateful shade of leaves. The land was parched for want of rain, and the languid hours dragged on slowly to the wished-for evening. On some such day long ago must Elijah have sent his servant up the mount to watch for the growing of the small black cloud. Only by the trout stream was the weather endurable, for the overhanging trees made the atmosphere of translucent green deliciously cool. Yet here and there spears of dazzling light pierced through the emerald twilight to smite the waters. These moved slowly in amber floods between the grassy banks, and in places swirled pearly white round moss-grown stones. The stream brawled over pebbles, gushed through granite rifts, and gloomed mysteriously in deep and silent pools, gleaming mirror-like under exposed tree trunks. May-flies dipped to the waters, swallows darted through the warm air, and kingfishers glanced here and there, each a flash of blue fire. And ever the river talked to the voiceless woods as it babbled seawards. From the woods came no reply, for the wind had died away, and the tongues of multitudinous leaves could no longer speak. Had they been able even to whisper, they surely would have rebuked the gay spirits of the two young men who had invaded their sacred solitude. "This is simply ripping," murmured one, who lay on his back with a battered Panama over his eyes. "We are doing ourselves up to the top hole, I don't think. Heavenly, ain't it?" "It would be if you did not chatter," retorted the other, fixing a fly on his line. "Why do you desecrate this beauty with slang?" "Because I'm not a poet like you to spout blank verse." "There is a medium between mutilation of the language and pedantic usage thereof." "Ha!" with scorn. "Who's pedantic now?" "My dear Todd, as a lawyer you should use better English." "It is only a barrister who requires a superfine jaw," retorted Todd elegantly, "and I'm only a solicitor of sorts. Don't worry, Haskins." Aware of the futility of argument, the other man merely shrugged his square shoulders and threw a skilful line in a pool wherein lurked a famous wary trout. The fly fell lightly on the water, and would have deceived any fish but the trout in question. There was no response to his dilly-duck-come-and-be-killed invitation, and the angler made another cast with still less success as the fly hit the stream heavily, scaring the trout into retreat. Haskins said one word under his breath, but Todd overheard and giggled. That was exactly like Todd McAndrew. He had no sense of the fitness of things. "Silly ass," commented his friend savagely, spinning up the line. "You frightened the fish." "Not onto your hook, anyhow," chuckled Todd into the depths of his hat. "What a sinfully bad angler you are, Jerry." "As bad an angler as you are a lover, perhaps," snapped Gerald, throwing his rod on the grass and squatting to manufacture a cigarette. Todd sat up abruptly with a wounded air. "I call that beastly, to taunt a chap because a girl won't bite." "Won't kiss, you mean." "I'm taking an illustration from your infernal angling," said Todd, with aggressive dignity. "If you were a lover yourself you would understand." "Oh, I understand well enough," replied the other lightly. He paused to run his tongue along the tissue paper, then added calmly, "I was in love with Charity Bird myself before you came along, Todd." "Well, now that I have come along, perhaps you'll call her Miss Bird." "Right-o. Miss Bird in the hand is worth two." "There are not two," interrupted McAndrew indignantly, "but only one schoolgirl cousin." "As if," cried Todd to the woods, "I would sell myself." Gerald Haskins cast a sly look at Todd's ungraceful
Sample complete. Ready to continue?